Alrighty, hello, I'm John, I'm the TA here, and we're going to be making a cold cream stock using the general formulation. So over here we have the ingredients for what we're going to be making today. We got the acetyl esters wax, and it's measured out to 7.5 grams. We have your beeswax, which is 7.2 grams. We have the sodium borate, which is 0.3 grams. And then we have purified water. And then we also are going to be using mineral oil. So in order to measure out the mineral oil, because it's a liquid and we need 33.6 grams, you're going to take an empty beaker and place it on your scale. You're going to tar the scale to 0, and then take your mineral oil and slowly dump it into the beaker to try to get as close as you can to 33.6 grams. Alrighty, so if you measure over like I did here, you can get a pipette to try to draw out the amount you need to get to 33.6. Alright, now once you have it measured to 33.6, you can take this and transfer it to the hot plate. Once you do that, you want to turn it on the temperature because you're going to heat it up. You can turn it on to about 5 or 6. Alright, next we're going to take the acetyl esters wax and the beeswax and put them into a mortar and pestle, and we're going to titrate them together. So first we have the acetyl esters wax, and second we have the beeswax. Alright, so you want to titrate these together here until they are kind of completely mixed together and completely ground up. This is going to help with the mixing process into the mineral oil and help create a more fine and smooth preparation. Alright, so now that we have fully titrated this together, we're going to add it to the mineral oil. Also, what you can do is you can take the 20 milliliters of water that you've added and add it to the hot plate too, because you're going to need that to heat up. You're also going to take the small stir bar and add it to the mineral oil. And then you can use the rubber spatula here to help guide the mix of the acetyl esters wax and beeswax into the mineral oil. Alright, once that's all been added, you're going to turn your stir bar up till about 3 here. Then you want to have this in the middle of the hot plate because that's the best place for the stir bar. Alright, while we let both of those mix, you're going to weigh your empty 2-ounce ointment jar. And then you're going to, the reason you're doing this is because you're going to weigh it when it's empty. So tare. Alright, so you got 21.58 grams. So you're going to weigh it when it's empty, and then after you've made your final preparation, you're going to weigh it again, and you're going to compare, because hopefully you should have less than a 5% yield difference from what your goal is. And then you're going to make sure to record the weight of your empty jar on your paper after you've weighed it.
Go.
Alright, now that these have heated up, you're going to take the hot water. So we need 11.4 milliliters. So we're going to measure that out in 2 separate increments. You're going to measure out 4.4 milliliters, and then you're going to measure out 7 milliliters. Oh, sorry, I wasn't recording. All right.
Get set.
And the reason we're measuring in 2 portions is the 25 graduated cylinder cannot measure down to the specificity of 0.4 milliliters, but the 10 graduated cylinder can, so that's why we need to do the 2 separate measurements. So we have 4.4 here. We're going to add that to the 25 milliliter graduated cylinder. And then now we're going to measure out 7 milliliters. So you're going to discard your remaining water and then pour the 11.4 milliliters back into the 25 or the 50 beaker. And now we're going to dissolve our sodium borate in that 11.4 milliliters of water. And then we're going to stir this with our glass stir rod until it completely dissolves. Alright, if the sodium borate does not completely go into solution in a short amount of time, you can add it back to the hot plate and continue to stir, and that should hopefully help dissolve it better. When the waxes and mineral oil are mixed and are clear, and the sodium borate and the water have mixed and are also clear, we can proceed to the next step. So next we're going to take both the preparations off the heat pad, turn the heat pad and stir bar off, and use your magnetic rod to get out the small stir bar. Set that aside. And now we're going to add the sodium borate and water to the mineral oil and waxes. And then we're going to continue to stir that with our stir bar. And then we're going to stir that until a smooth emulsion is obtained. And we're going to allow it to cool as well and thicken.